Hello and welcome back to the Bold Prediction Wrestling channel. Today we are joined by Ryan, my co-host, and our special guest Jack. We'll get more into what we're doing this show in just a sec, but we're going to start a new series called Let's Talk Wrestling. It's going to be once a month. We're going to get a guest on, talk to them about wrestling, talk to them about like their career, what they do, their interests, that sort of stuff. I'm obviously Chad. I'm joined by Ryan, my co-host, and I'm going to let Ryan introduce the guest properly.
Hey up. So today we have a special guest, Jack Hannam, or as I know him as Spadham. He's a friend of mine from uni. Known him for about it's light, he's doing my head in. About 2 to 3 years now. And he's just absolutely killing it on the music scene at the moment. So I think having him on is just a great catch.
I won't say killing it, but I will be soon. Give me a year. Give me a year.
Ambitious. I like it. So how did you two meet?
So we go to just one sec, fellas. I'm not prepared. We go to the same uni over at Leeds. We study filmmaking. We just pretty much hit it off from there, didn't we? To be honest, Jack.
Yeah, we all met, and everyone gets on really on course. But obviously, you've got a few people that you're more close with and stuff. And me and Ryan just been mates since we first came to uni, so it just sort of went from there, really.
We had a few wild nights out in the town.
Trust me, we've not having none of them for a while.
So Ryan tells me that you used to watch wrestling quite a bit as a kid during the Ruthless Aggression era. What originally got you into wrestling?
I don't know, but as far as I can, as long as I can remember back, I was watching wrestling. I was born 98, and I've probably been watching wrestling since 02, 03, since I was 4 or 5 years old. Because my dad used to watch it, so I just started watching it, and I thought it was real till I was 10, 11. Do you know what I mean?
Been there.
Up until that age, I got a lot of enjoyment out of it, because obviously I still enjoyed it when I found out it was fake, but obviously it's just a lot more love to it when you think it's all real. So, but yeah, I've been watching it since way back when.
You have a different view on it when you realize that it's predetermined and that. I know the first 2 years that I started watching, because I was a late bloomer, as they say, to wrestling. So I was a lot older when I started watching. And then when I found out that it was predetermined and that, I looked at it a completely different way. And now I'm looking behind the scenes and the script and all that. And it is different. It's better when you think it's real and you can get all that belief in it sort of thing.
No, for sure. You're rooting for someone, and you obviously they know who's going to win, but you don't know that they know that. So it's go on. Do you know what I mean?
It's now with big mega baby faces or whatever that you want to support, and in your head you're well, now I know that they want to push the heel.
Yeah.
So
as soon as a match comes on now, because I don't really watch it anymore, but as soon as a match comes on, because I still watch it, they do stories on Snapchat, so I still keep up with that. As soon as I see a match that's going to happen, I know straight away who's going to win. So it's one of them now where I don't watch it just because I know the outcome.
Yeah, it's definitely you get a different look upon it, don't you? So
100.
What made you stop watching it or come off it a little bit?
I don't know, but I probably stopped watching it properly. I was about 14, 15. I think it was more because I was getting into, I was in high school at this point.
Yeah.
And you get onto different things. I was drinking by 14, 15. So I was more into going out. Do you know what I mean? Having a few drinks with lads.
Yeah.
Just looking at girls and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I've completely wrestling went back in my mind once I was in high school, because there were all this in front of me. Do you know what I mean? So it was one of them really. But I still now and then WrestleMania and that. I still watch WrestleMania and stuff, but because I still do love the sport. For me, it were greats like Rey Mysterio and John Cena and Shawn Michaels, as people like that. They really made the sport for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll always definitely have love for it and that. But I feel just because of what I know about it now, it just sort of puts me off it. So I don't really watch it as much as I once did, because I was watching it every week at one point.
High school can be very difficult as well, because it's sort of oh, you like wrestling, it's fake, right? It's fake, right? And you get all that all the time, and it can be a lot.
It's like a guilty pleasure, isn't it? You don't want people to just put it on the side. It's
keep it to yourself. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was like for me. It was sort of I'm not going to tell anybody because I can't be bothered with the conversation. But then back at high school, I didn't have anyone to talk to it about. And social media, I don't want to say it wasn't what it is now, but I didn't use it as much. Whereas like
Right.
now,
Yeah.
like obviously I'm talking to you guys, I'm on Facebook, Twitter every day talking about wrestling. Whereas back in high school, it's like you don't want to mention it because you don't want to. You don't want everyone.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you mentioned Mania. I remember this year, it's obviously been, well, last year it's been different completely with no fans. And I remember seeing one of your Snapchats, Jack, or something. What were your reaction to like? Because it was just a weird one, wasn't it? There were no fans. It was just really, really weird.
Personally, I honestly didn't like it. Like, it was just, I think the way they've gone about it now, they've turned it very like almost sitcom-y, like almost like into a film sort of thing. Like, especially with the Fun House match, the John Cena versus
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt and the Undertaker match. And like the Undertaker, don't get me wrong, like the Undertaker match, it was something to watch. Like, it was amazing the way they've done it and the visuals on it and everything. Like, it was nice to watch. But to me personally, that's not what wrestling is. Do you know what I mean? Wrestling is just getting down and dirty, having a fight. Do you know what I mean? Someone comes out on top. It's not all these like amazing visuals, like stopping almost cutscenes and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And adding extras and stuff like
all
that.
All the trash talk and that you can hear like so loud.
Exactly, and especially with like the Funhouse one, I just thought that match, it was just daft. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird, wasn't it?
Fully took it into like, it was literally, to me, it felt like a sitcom. Do you know what I mean? The way like they're bringing up John Cena's past and that and getting in his head, and to me, it was just a bit daft.
It's not something that takes itself seriously.
No, I feel like they're making it worse for themselves, as like being taken for a joke, because it's just like they're trying too hard now, I think.
Yeah.
Ryan, anything to add on that?
Oh yeah. So have you watched it like the past few months when they brought in like the Thunderdome thing, where it's all the virtual screens around the ring now?
Oh, what with all the fans and stuff?
Yeah.
No, I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen. Well, like I said, I just watched they do like the top 10 moments of each week on Snapchat, and I just thought I'd keep up with that.
Yeah.
Just to sort of see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's
it is hard to keep following, isn't it?
Say again, Ryan.
Yeah.
I was just saying, it is hard to keep up because it just gets to the point where you see the same old shit. As you get older, you're wanting something like that's going to draw you back in it, and it's just, especially in these towns where there's no actual fans, because fans make up the arena like that, don't they? Without them, it's essentially you ain't got a show.
Like same with football, like seeing that with no fans,
it's
just not the same. Like, because like in certain cases, like fans, if a team's going down, like if a team's 2-1 down, the fans are what will make them come back and win 3-2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Without that, it's all like the coach and the team, and without the fans, it's just because the fans do bring a lot to the game and to the team. So I feel like it's one of them where it's just hard to watch because you can just hear them talking and it just sounds really forced.
Sticking on WrestleMania for a minute, I didn't actually watch it this year. I don't class it as a WrestleMania because different circumstances. Like, and it's not like this year. I think it'll be a bit better because they've had a year to like experiment with it, bring in the Thunderdome, bring in the fake crowd noises or whatever. But back then it was sort of like, okay, yeah, it's hit. And then 2 days later or so, it's Mania. So they've had like 2 days, I think it's like a week or whatever. But it was very difficult to get enjoyment out of it with no crowd, especially after you're used to a crowd for so long. I think the Thunderdome's definitely helped me enjoy it more, and the fake crowd noises and all that. It's still not what it was, but it's better than what it was this time. Mania last year for me. But yeah, like you said, the crowd makes it. And like, imagine if the Royal Rumble last year, Edge comes out and there's no crowd. It just ruins that whole moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, like that moment was made even better because of the crowd's reaction. Do you know what I mean?
And it's like Drew beat Brock Lesnar. There's no crowd. It was sort of like, well,
he'd been working his way up for years and years, and then that was his moment, and that's all he got.
Yeah,
it was rough.
It's awful, isn't it?
I was saying to Ryan though, with there being so much wrestling at the moment, and like obviously we've all got a little bit more time because of lockdown, but in normal times, like with work or whatever, there is less time to watch wrestling. But there's so many different shows. You've got Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Then you've got different companies like AEW and that. So having the top 10 on YouTube and Snapchat and that, it really helps a lot of people stay in the know. And I was saying to Ryan, like this sort of time of year coming up to the Rumble, this is when you see a lot of fans come back into it, because the Rumble is one of the best things of the year.
The Rumble was for me like because I still watch the Rumble. I don't watch it on the day. I normally just watch it after, because I don't really have mates that watch it, so I don't get it ruined. So I normally just watch it like the day after or something. But the Rumble has always been for me like the thing that makes me want to watch it. I don't know what it is about the Rumble match. It's just there's always a lot more excitement in the Rumble. So that for me is like why I kept sort of coming back, because it's like the Rumble and Mania really.
Like you said, like I don't know what it is, but it's the Rumble. There's something about it. Whether it's you not know who's going to come out next, you don't know what's going to happen. Like it's all cliche, but there is something about the Rumble that brings excitement.
Yeah, it's one of them you can't really pinpoint it, but it's just the match in it to watch.
So you mentioned a few names that you used to enjoy: Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Shawn Michaels. Was there anyone that stood out for you? Like any one in particular that you were like, my hero?
Me personally, Rey Mysterio, he was, for me, he was the man. Because I had all the, like, back when I was like, probably like 5, 6, until I was like 11, 12, do you know what I mean? Because I like you said, we're a late bloomer. I still like toys and that at that age. You know what I mean? So I had all the figures. I had everyone, you know what I mean? Down to like little Hornswoggle and that. I had the lot. So like Rey Mysterio for me was always the one, because I'd set up like little pay-per-views and he'd win them all. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I just loved watching him. I think it was just the fact with the mask and that it was like a lot smaller than his opponents, but he still. Back then I thought he was like proper accomplished, but when I look at it now, I feel like he didn't get what he deserved. Like I feel like he should have been more accomplished, because like obviously like, he won a world heavyweight title. He didn't even keep it for long, did he? I feel like he kept it for a month or so, something daft, and then he got the WWE title, lost it the same night.
That was shocking.
Stuff like that, because obviously he put so many years into the company and like done all, and I just think for me and a lot of other people, he was a crowd favorite. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like he deserved. Like with John Cena, obviously, he obviously deserved everything he got. But I put John Cena in the same level as Rey Mysterio. So I just thought that me personally, he deserved a lot more titles and just a lot more accomplishment.
Do you have any memories of I think it's 2006 Royal Rumble where Rey won?
He won. Oh yeah, that for me, that were a moment, honestly.
Yeah. Do you have like memories of like watching the whole match and watching Rey go all the way?
Well, yeah, because back then I think I don't know if I had pay-per-view. I had to watch it in a weird, like probably on the internet or something like that. You know what I mean? I had to find it somehow. But I think I don't know if I knew who won when I watched it or not, but I can still remember my reaction when I watched it. It was like I was going sick, because obviously he came in at number 1 or 2, didn't he?
Yeah, 2 I think it was.
Yeah, he came in at 2. So seeing him just like I think he lasted like an hour and something daft.
Yeah.
Like an hour and a half or something stupid, and just to see him win it in end, it was just mad. And then obviously for him to go on to WrestleMania and end up getting put in a triple threat and all odds against him, and he comes out and wins it. It was just that year for me. We wrestling were definitely one of my favorites.
Ryan, have you got a question?
Yeah, just a question for both of you. It's like, what do you think as a company they need to do to like get, because like between 2002 till 2008, the company were just like, they were nothing, they were just unstoppable. Like the stories were just great writing, great like athletes. You had Batista, you had Orton, you still have Orton now, but he's not the same, is he? But like you said, great matches. What does the company need to do if they want to like ever touch that fame again? Like what do you think they need to put into it?
I don't know. I feel like what it is with like wrestling with WWE now, they'll never have the type of names they had back then. Like the roster was like, obviously nowadays there's a few stars in it, but back then it was pretty much just stars. Do you know what I mean? There was so many like stars you could name, like Randy Orton, Ric Flair, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Rey Mysterio. Do you know what I mean? Big Show, Kane, all these people, Undertaker. And like, obviously now there's big names, but I don't think, because obviously I feel like wrestling's shrunk compared to what it was along those years. And it's just, I just don't think there's enough names there. So I don't know how they'd bring that sort of buzz, because they'll always have a buzz, but compared to what they had back then, I don't think they'll ever come close to doing that again.
It's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to get too much into it because I could be here for like an hour just talking about this one topic. But they did Raw Legends Night on Raw just gone,
Oh Jesus!
and they brought back all these legends like Big Show, not Kane, Tatanka, the Boogeyman,
Oh
like
yeah,
all them. And it's like we were talking about it last week. We were talking about it last week, and was like, well, in 10, 15 years, who are you going to bring back? Because you don't have any stars, and that's going off what you were saying. Like back then, they had all these stars, whereas now you don't. The stars they have now are the stars they had then, plus
just
one or two.
Just toned down as well. Because obviously, I think they've still got Mysterio, aren't they? And they've still got Orton, but it's just
they're
like,
not what they were.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I feel like the only stars I can name now is like McIntyre.
Yeah.
And I'm lost to think of another. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them now. It's just like, it'll never be what it was. Like if I was to start watching wrestling again, I'd probably watch old pay-per-views just because that's the sort of thing that I can relate to and I can watch. Like nowadays, you see, like I just get bored of watching it because it's just, I just don't find it as interesting as I did back then. But you got like big ups to him because obviously they're still making bank, so they're doing something.
Yeah.
But I feel like what it is kids nowadays, what we call like, oh, he's just another wrestler. They'll call their stars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But I feel sorry for kids like that because I wish they got to see what I got when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's just one of them. That's all I think back to is what I got to experience.
You seem to like remember quite a bit about like what you enjoyed or whatever. Do you have a favorite all-time match? That's like a big question because there's so many or whatever. There's the one that sticks in your head.
One that sprung straight to my mind was when Rob Van Dam faced John Cena at
that's a shout.
ECW One Night Stand.
Yeah. One of them. And I can just remember like Cena going in because at that point, Rob Van Dam's another one of my like favorites. So like then I weren't really mad who won. Do you know what I mean? It was just one of them. I was happy either way. And just like seeing Cena come in, getting booed and that, and it was just a whole different environment to what you used to.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that match was amazing. I loved it. I also really liked. I don't think it was a title match, but when Sabu faced Rey Mysterio, and I think Rey Mysterio did something like broke his neck or something, or did something bad to his neck. I don't know if you've seen that match. That was I think that was in the same pay-per-view. I'm not sure, but that was a hell of a match as well.
I don't think I've seen that one. Ryan, have you?
I don't think I've seen it, but like any match of Sabu, you just know so much shit's gonna, like some wild shit's gonna happen.
Sabu like DDT's him through a table, and I think Mysterio ends up like breaking his neck or something. It was mad. They both had to get carried out on stretchers. Wow. It's
crazy. So you're saying that you got into wrestling because like your dad was watching it, and then you were just watching it with him and whatever. What do you remember? What's the first match you remember watching?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? A match I watched, it was I think the thing that actually got me into it was a DVD. Like someone had like my nanan or something, or I don't know. It was like a really old video. I think it might have been ECW or something. It was like really old. And it was like, I can't remember the exact matches, but it had people like, it had Bam Bam Bigelow versus somebody else. Man. And then it had like, Psycho Sid. It had Psycho Sid in it as well. And I can't remember but I can like, I'm visualizing it now, but I can't remember the exact matches. Yeah. And it was all like really gloomy set up and stuff, like really, really not, you can tell that they didn't have whatever company it was, didn't have a lot of money at this point. And it was really old. And it just, that's like the first thing I can remember that watching that, because it was like an extreme thing as well. So watching that at a very young age and seeing all these people getting battered, I was gassed. So that for me, then I just kept going and going and going, and it just grew on me.
Nice. Ryan, do you have any more wrestling related questions?
Just give me a few minutes to think. I think I did the main ones, to be fair.
Do you want to move on to the career part of it then?
Can do, yeah. Can do if you want to start off.
I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Yeah. All right. So we're just going to talk to you about your career and stuff like you're coming up. And obviously, I think these past 2 years, you've really taken strides, haven't you, with your music and stuff. What was your like inspiration to get into the music like industry?
I I don't know what it was. Like I've always liked music. Obviously, I've always liked music. I've always liked sort of. I used to be very into like bass line, drum and bass, but I've always had grime in my heart, and then grime just sort of grew on me more and more because I just started like I've got one of my mates, one of my good mates. He listens to songs for the beat, but I listen to songs for the lyricism. Like I every bar, every word, every bit of wordplay, I can break it apart, and I know the true meaning of each bar and stuff. So that for me, that's for me is when I realized that do you know what I mean? I could do something here because I can break down lyrics so quickly. Like I may be able to thingy, and I've always just MCing at like little sessions with my mates and that. We'd always put a bassline beat on and just start spitting to each other and just like go bar for bar sort of thing. And then because I was in college doing media, an opportunity came up. They wanted us to do a music video, but like they wanted us to do a video for a song that was already released. But I just thought, just me being me, I thought, well, why don't I just one up and just make my own song as well? So I just sort of found a beat, started writing, and I just really liked it. Like my first track, it's on YouTube. It's on the Wakefield College's website. It's trash.
Oh, nice.
It's like where I started. And then the year after, for his final year project, they let us do anything. So I thought, you know what, I'll just drop another tune. So then that's when I did Tittle and Tattle. And like Tittle and Tattle has always been still like my biggest song for, because I think it got like 18,000 on Facebook, like 4,000 on SoundCloud, 4.5, and then nearly 2 on YouTube. So that's been like my biggest tune to date. But then obviously I started writing, and then I bought a mic, and then it sort of flew from there really.
Yeah, I think the first one that I listened to yours was the Tittle Tattle, and it's great in it, to be fair. This is my first one that I got introduced.
I think everyone likes that because it's like more you can relate to it because obviously a lot of the people that listen to my music are in Pontefract, and it's about Pontefract sort of thing. It's about like life as a Ponty kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's relatable. So that'll always from where I'm from, that'll always be my biggest track. But obviously, I plan to just excel much further on that.
Before we carry on, so if anybody wants to find your music or find out more about you, what can they search? Where can they go, sort of thing?
Well, I got my SoundCloud's SP, capital SP, or just type in Spanham. 1 or 2 will come up. Because I don't know what's on the search bar, but my name on it is SP. That's my
I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube video and the SoundCloud and all that, so they can just click the links and it'll take them straight there as well.
And then my Apple Music, if you type in artist name SP, and then you either type in Pain Freestyle or Next Up, my tracks will come up. They're like 79p, 99p. So they're like the first 2 tracks I've had on major platforms. Same with Spotify, it's SP, and you should be able to find me. Type in SP Next Up, and my profile will come up. And then if you want to hit me up on Instagram, that's just Spanham. That's SPANNA, and then triple M. And that's it really. Same with YouTube. You type in SP, you'll find me.
Okay. I'll be sure to put that in the description so people can just jump on that.
Yeah, I can send you out links and everything anyway.
So you've spoke about like what your inspiration is, but do you have like a who? Like who's your inspiration? Who do you look up to? Like that sort of thing.
No, I'd say in general, I'll give you 2. I say in general, I say definitely my mum. My mum's a huge inspiration to me. Just seeing everything she's done for me in her life, and just like all sacrifices she's made to get me to where I am. It's just that's, do you know what I mean? It hits home with me, and that's like that is. She hates me saying it because she don't like me. She's like, no, you do it for yourself. But like one of the main reasons I'm doing the music and I'm at university is so I can, you know what I mean, so I can do
look
well
after
for myself.
Your mum.
Yeah, sort of, because I'm not all about money, but I'd like money just to be able to look after my mum, sort of thing. So that's like a big reason why I do my music. Like I even say in a few of my tracks, I do it for my mum. Do you know what I mean? Don't be stupid, sort of thing. I do it for my mum, not me. Don't be stupid, because that's the truth. That's what I do it for. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely say in like a generalized idea, it's definitely my mum. But as for like music, it's a tough one. I'm trying to think now.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, you know, baby, a banger. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'd probably say P Money. Like he writes grime music, but he also does like he does sets. I've seen him live like 5 times. I think I've seen him live quite a lot of times, and he spits over different, like he spits over drum and bass, grime, bass line. He spits over everything. So it's good because it's good to see him, because like I like to think of myself as having that sort of versatility. Like I like to rap over different genres of music, and just seeing how easily he does it. It's just it's inspirational, because like, I'm nowhere near at that level, but it's just mad to see where I could possibly be one day.
Yeah. I think as well, like the grime genre, if you go like 3 years ago, like not many people knew about it. But like, what do you think has been like because now 2 to 3 years later, it's everywhere, and it's in the charts. It's probably like the most popular genre of music today, I'd say, in the UK.
I'd say that
Why do you
that
reckon that
or
is?
drill, 100%.
Yeah. Why do you reckon it is? Like, why do you reckon it's just shot up these past 2 years?
I don't know. I think because I don't know, because I feel like with a lot of genres of music, you've got to be into that sort of music. Like obviously, like bass line and drum and bass, you've got to like those beats. But like with grime, I feel like they are quite generalized beats. Do you know what I mean? And grime obviously spans to loads. Like obviously, you've got subgenres of grime, so you've got all these different beats that come within grime. And I feel like everybody, in some sense, can just like relate to lyricism and to certain lyrics in songs. So I feel like that's what makes it so easy to listen to, because it's such a wide platform. There's so many artists. Like I know a lot of people just stay within mainstream. Like there's people that I just listen to whatever's popping at the moment. But like me, I know names that you probably never heard of. Like I've got so many, like I've got a big playlist just of loads of different artists. Like I go onto like JDZ Media and stuff like that just to sort of find new artists for myself. So I just think it's massive, and there's just so much to look at. So I don't know. I just feel like that's why it's blowing up, and a lot of the songs banged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be wrong here,
Definitely.
but it's like when you know a new artist, a new upcoming artist, and you've known them for years, and then they hit mainstream, and everyone's like, "Oh, have you heard this?" And it's like, "Well, yeah, years ago."
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like you've been into grime for so long that it has hit mainstream a little bit more, but I don't think you realize it because you were into it so much anyway. Whereas I'm not sure about Ryan, but me and Ryan, like I knew nothing about it a few years ago. And then all of a sudden, bang, it's there. It's like, wow, where's all this come from?
I've always sort of felt the same about it, because obviously, like you said, with mainstream artists nowadays, like Stormzy, I listened to him way before do you know what I mean? I listened to him when he was doing small numbers.
Yeah.
Same with like H. I sort of clocked onto him like 3 months before he got famous, so that weren't as like thingy. But like with Stormzy, I was probably listening to him for like a year or so before like he started popping off, and then next thing you know, he's a headline in I think he headlined Glastonbury. He was at Glastonbury. You know what I mean? And grime artists don't really get to Glastonbury, so it's definitely people are making moves. But yeah, there's a lot of people like Cadet. Sort of like he passed away last year, and he would be massive now. And he was sort of one of the people that I'd listened to for like 2-3 years, and he just started getting bigger, and then unfortunately passed away. But like stuff like that, there's so many artists that I've like listened to, and then you see them blow, and everyone's just like, this person's so good and that. And then, but I feel like the more people, like with Stormzy, like same with H, like I loved Stormzy, I loved H, but I feel like they've been so overplayed now, and they've sort of a bit poppy because they're getting big. Like it's put me off them, so then I just sort of drag back down to the smaller people again.
But with it coming more mainstream, as we say, it's an exciting time for you to be a part of it, because there's going to be more sort of people listening to that genre that they're more likely to find you.
No, yeah, that's definitely a point, because obviously like that's why I do grime, because obviously a lot of my mates said, oh, you should be doing like bass line and drum and bass, and like I do like that, but I just feel like grime for me, even though I haven't got the best voice for it or stuff like that, I just feel like grime for me is just an opportunity to show like my versatility, because I can show so many different flows on a single track. And like a lot of these artists now, you hear the same flow on every track, the same do you know what I mean? The same thing every time. But that's what I'm bringing different, because I know a lot of people, like certain people like shun versatility. They like the same thing. But I'm one of them that like I'm not here to please you. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to please myself.
Yeah.
And if that makes me, if I blow with that, then I blow. If not, I'm just where I am right now. So for me, it's just I do it because I love to do it.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to like start off anything. Do it because you love it, not do it because you want to get somewhere with it, sort of thing.
Yeah, if you go into something with the mindset, oh, I want to be rich, I want to be famous, then you're probably not going to do it, because that sort of mindset don't work. You want to think, I'm doing this because I love to do this.
Yeah.
And if you blow, you blow. If not, there's always, you know what I mean? There's always plenty more you can do.
And that's like the best chance in it. You know you're gonna bang if you're doing it out of passion. Because if you're doing it for the money, you just get it done sort of thing. If you're doing it because you love you doing it, you're gonna put all your like effort into it, aren't you?
Yeah, you take it slow, sort of thing.
It's like sort of over the past year, I don't want to go too much into about myself because it's not about me. But in the past 12 months, I've started like photography, I've started this podcast, I've started other things. And like, I've never thought, right, I want to do this for the money. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. But then at the same time, it's sort of like, I've got to try and keep it professional in case it goes somewhere. But it's not, I'm doing it because I want to go somewhere. It's doing it because I enjoy it, sort of thing. And like with my photography, like obviously during lockdown, it's been a lot more difficult to actually go out and do it. So it's sort of like took a step back sort of thing where I like focus on other stuff. How have you coped during lockdown?
Well, obviously it's been hard because like, I do struggle with mental health and stuff, and I've got a lot of like physical problems going on. So it's been hard to get like doctor's appointments and stuff and get stuff sorted out. But I feel like music's definitely helped me, because obviously I suffer with chronic migraines as well. So I can't really when I write music, I can't do it for too long because I'll give myself a headache sort of thing, just because I'm in the mic sort of shouting at the mic, like that'll cause me to have an headache. Yeah. But when I'm doing music for like the hour that I'm okay doing it, because lately I've been having like my mind's been very muggy. I think it's because I've been trapped inside. I've not really been able to think straight. Like I've been trying to do uni work. I can't do it because I look at the screen and I don't want to do it, sort of thing, just because I'm not in the environment where I normally would be. So what I do at that point, I just think I may as well try to be productive. So I'll just sort of turn my mic on, get my track up, and just start writing. And that's what I was doing before I came on here. I wrote like a fresh 8-bar. So and that for like that, while I'm in that sort of zone, like nothing else matters, and I can concentrate. Yeah. So at the minute, music for me is definitely one of the only things that is like keeping me going. But I don't think it's affected me too bad in the music sense, because obviously, like I say, I've got a microphone at home, I've got my interface, I've got my softwares, so I can do it all from home. So I'm obviously a lot of people can't. So I'm quite what's the word?
You're quite lucky, really, that you've got the ability to do it from home.
Quite fortunate in that sense, because obviously, like in December and November last year, I dropped 2 tracks, and obviously I did all that myself. Like I wrote all the lyrics, mixed and mastered the tune, and I did all that from the comfort of my home. So I'm definitely very lucky to sort of be where I am. And because obviously I put a lot of money into my music, and these 2 tracks I'll make next to nothing back, but it doesn't matter, because more music I bring out, and if I do start gaining traction, people are going to find my old tracks, and it'll just sort of go from there.
Grime?
But yeah, I was just thinking, do you know when you get into the mindset of when like you're writing your songs, how much of that is like from personal experience, like, you know, your lyrics, you have to tap into some emotional parts to get stuff out? Do you know, like, what's your process on that?
I think definitely it depends the song. Like, so my process is quite weird. Like, I've got a weird process. I can't really write, because I know a lot of people just like to write bars on the laptop with no music, and they just like to write lyrics, but I can't do that because nothing comes to me. I have to find the beat first and then play the beat, and then I sort of write to the beat, because it's just I haven't mastered, because my flow changes so much. It's like with one flow, it's easy to stick to most beats because it's just the same flow. But because I like to write and switch it up, like one bar could be one thing, the next bar could be fast. So obviously, because I like to switch it up, I need to find a beat that I can fit those different flows to. So once I do that, I don't even normally think of a topic. I write a few words what I want to write about, and then just sort of go from there. Like one of the tracks I'm working on at the minute, I sort of just talk about, I start off by saying, I don't want to play no more. Each time I took over the game, real talk. And then I just sort of go from there. Like, it depends, like, because I'm like, now everybody's moving mad, trying to catch you, real life booby trap. Say it's a 1-9 thing, 9 months later, they give you a ring. I'm sort of just like homing in on like, just like people's like real experiences, like, do you know what I mean? Like going out on a night out and then one night stands. Next thing you know, you've got a kid on way. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's relatable to people. Like it's happened to people. Do you know what I mean? It's relatable. And I write a lot about like just people that put people down. Like I'm like I'm getting bored of the haters and fake raters. Lazy cunts probably use escalators. Leech off their mates for the paper. I don't rate you. Way ahead, so I'll see you later.
Nice.
So I'm basically just saying like
fire. To be fair,
Yeah.
I'm basically speaking on the haters, just sort of saying like, because I got a lot of hate when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? And especially when I first started, like my first track, I had people sharing it, laughing at it, and stuff like that. But to me, it was like you're the one that's sharing it and getting me more views. So
any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. So I'm just sort of like homing in on how I felt back then and just sort of putting the anger, rather than putting the anger out and just, do you know what I mean? Being like, oh, I'm going to fucking bang you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put the anger into my music and do something productive with it.
Nice. So it's the start of a new year, 2021. What does 2021 hold for you? Both music wise and personal wise? Like, what have you got coming up? Any like sneaks you can give us?
I'd say personal wise, I've got, I don't know, personal. I've got obviously this year of uni, but at the minute we don't have a clue. So I'll soon find out what's going on there. But music wise, I'm currently working on an EP. Nice. It's going to be a 6-song EP, and it's going to be called Split Personalities. And the reason I'm doing that is because almost every track will be a different genre.
Nice.
So you'll have like grime, you'll have like sort of slow depressive grime for a deep track. You'll have hip hop, you'll have drum and bass, you'll have bass line. So just a bit, some of that, because obviously like people like certain genres. So it's one of them where you can either buy the full EP or you can buy certain tracks. Do you know what I mean?
There'll be something for everyone on it, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sort of hitting every market, but like I'm currently working on that. I've got couple of songs that are coming now that I'm writing at a minute. I haven't really got names for them, but one's just about sort of being a ponty boy and, you know, just sort of like living your life, haters and stuff. And then the other's more like it's sort of looking back at myself and just like the things that I've achieved up to now. So they're both different. I try to show you a snippet, but I don't know how that would work. I'll try something.
Is there like an option for you to share the screen on here or something? That might help.
If I can, I'm seeing if it'll let me connect this to my Adobe to my speaker, and it might let me play it.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Ryan?
It's quite a tough one. It's like in 5 years' time, like where do you see yourself?
It's like a job interview.
The typical, the typical question.
You know what? I haven't even put like much thought into where I'll be in 5 years.
Sure, I'm trying to think where I'd be in 5 years. I haven't got a clue.
Well, hopefully, like my music's took off a bit. Like I don't see me being famous in 5 years. You know what I mean? Not at all, but I do definitely see myself being more known. Like
I can see that, to be fair.
Around my areas anyway, like around Leeds, Pontefract, stuff like that, I can see myself being more known, you know, like.
Yeah.
But obviously I don't plan to be worldwide famous or anything like that. Because to me I'm not too bothered about fame. Like as long as I'm making a decent income to support myself and support my family, that's all that matters. But I also want to like have like, because music will always be like a side hustle, but unless obviously it blows up massively, then obviously I'd take it as a main hustle. But I also want to do like music video editing and stuff.
Nice.
Just work in the music industry, even if not as a rapper, as like an asset to like videographers, editors. So like wherever all I know is I want to be in the music industry somehow, hopefully within the next 5 years.
I can see that happening, to be fair.
It's good to have like, because some people say like they have one goal and that's what they want to go to. But I like the idea of having a genre, like music. I want to be doing something in music, either creating it, editing the video. I want something like that. So you keep your options open at the same time as knowing what you want.
No, 100%. I've got this up. What I'll do, you should be able to hear it. I'll just press play, and it's sort of the chorus, and then 2 seconds. It's a chorus, and then a little bit of the second verse. But I'll just make sure you can hear this. Oh, I've got 5. Can you hear that?
Yeah, man.
Let me just turn it down a little. Right, okay. I'll just play this for you. Oh, I've dropped 5 tracks this cashier, and you dropped 0 tracks. May wanna call my work rate shit, but that there's 0 facts. Now I'm different on it. Took it to the bar, double gin and tonic. May hate me, wanna fake me, lie to my face, telling me you don't rate me. That's okay, cause I don't need it. Tell it in my veins when I write, I bleed it. So leave it, hey, you can keep it all you've got, so I let you feed it. Now I'm back on the track with a bottle of Jack spray, nothing but facts. And I drink it deep, don't need a mixer, I wanna feel heat. I wanna do that, I wanna do this. I wanna make millions, she swallows my kids. She lowers the tone, I answer my phone. Which new label wanna moan and grow? Now I'm trapped in the house, gotta make money, wanna make it now. Gotta make pence and I wanna make pounds. Jokes on boys, cause I do it all without leaving the house. Yeah, jokes on you, I got 4 wheels like 2 on 2. That's all it is. It's probably hard
that's
nice.
Fire, to be fair.
Yeah, I like that.
I've got obviously I've just recorded it, so it's got a lot of work and a lot of re-recording to do. But because I write the bars, I record it, and then because I like to listen to what I've said beforehand, and then I sort of just flow off myself.
Yeah.
So it'll all be re-recorded and sound a lot clearer. But I hope you could hear it though. But
yeah,
good
decent, man. I think that the ability just to you write your bars and make it work. I mean, that is such a massive skill that not many people tap into. I just think it's a really good.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Really good thing.
100%. I feel like a lot of people, because obviously you've got a lot of people now trying music, and it's just like you've got so many people trying it just because they see people get big, and it's just like I feel like they go into it without knowing what they're getting themselves into. Because obviously I was sort of the same. Like when I first started releasing tracks, once I got my mic, there was all awful quality. Every word would be a rhyming word. Do you know what I mean? Every word rhyming stuff, and it's one of the things that you got to learn how to not just go from one rhyme to another rhyme because it just sounds dead. You've got to learn how to put rhymes in the middle and also have bars that don't rhyme but they sound like the rhyme. Do you know what I mean?
Because
there's a lot more into it than just sort of writing bars with rhyming words. Do you know what I mean? It's not a poem. It's a lot different. Like same with poems, because I could never write a poem. Even though I'm a rapper, I still got poems. Just 2 different worlds. But I just feel like a lot of people that just sort of jump in nowadays, they don't research in a sense, because they don't you know what I mean? They haven't. It's hard to put it into words, but I just feel like a lot of people just go into writing music because they want to get famous off it, and I feel like that's the wrong way to go about it.
There's no enjoyment in it.
Yeah, I've got real love and passion for it, and if I never made it, I never make it. But it's just something I will always do.
You mentioned then about not just rhyming 2 words together, but putting words together that sound similar rather than actual rhyme. And you said something earlier, and I clicked on that. And I was sort of like, hang on, that doesn't rhyme. But it makes you think it does because of how close it is. And it's just to find words like that and make them make sense. It's amazing. I definitely couldn't do anything like that.
No, I appreciate it. But yeah, I do think a lot of people do think it's a lot easier than it actually is. Because you get so many people that I know a few people that you listen to it and you want them to do well, but in your mind you're like, do you know what I mean? But you don't want to be I don't want to put anyone down, because obviously I came from being trash. But all I tell people, I sort of give them my honest criticism, and I tell them, do you know what I mean? This is where you got to improve, because I'm not a teacher, but I feel like I've definitely developed a lot more in this past year. So I do like to give the advice that I can give, but I just feel like it's one of those things where you realize pretty soon if it is for you or if it isn't for you.
Yeah.
For me, it's if you have an interest in something. So, for example, yours is music, mine was photography, right? And I know yours is writing books at the moment and stuff like that, right? If you've got an interest in it and you really enjoy it, put something out there, even if it is trash. Put something out there. Somebody will give you feedback, whether it's good, whether it's bad, where you can improve, what they liked about it, and from there you can work your way. but you've got to enjoy it. You can't be doing something like that if you don't enjoy it, because they're going to give you feedback and you're just going to completely ignore it because you want the money. But for you to be able to say, yeah, I was trash back then. It's like the first thing, no one puts something out and their first thing's amazing. They put something out because they enjoy it, and then you learn how you can get better with it.
I feel like, 100%. I feel like that's why I'm quite lucky to have the mates that I have, because I can send them things, and like they'll say, like, they always like my wordplay, like they always like the lyrics, but they'll say if like, oh, I don't like the bar, like, I don't like the beat, or I don't like the flows. But obviously, still in the end, it'll go down to my decision.
Yeah.
But obviously, I do take on their feedback and that.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's nice to know what other people think, because obviously, like, you'll have one mate that hates it, a couple that like it. It's one of them where like you can't always hit everyone at once. So you've just you've just got to sort of try and hit the majority. And that's why with this EP, that's why I'm calling it Split Personalities, because it's like showing the different versatility of each different genre. And I'm just basically going to show people that, like, obviously it is a big deal to me, music, but I'm not here to play a part. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to show people that I've got talent and I do deserve to get to where I want to be.
Yeah. Ryan, have you got anything else to add?
Yeah, I think my last question is to, like, for creatives like you and like us all today, what would your advice be now that we're in a third and hopefully final lockdown? What would your advice to them be to keep? What should they do? Because I know for creative, like for us, we meant to be filming in a few months, but that's maybe looking unlikely, and it can be very stressful. So what would your advice be? I'd
say depending on obviously where you're at, what priorities you've got, like what you've got to do. Like I'm saying, if you've got time and you're in lockdown and you've not got nothing to do, you know, you're on furlough or you've been fired and you just want something to do, I'd say find a create, because I feel like creatives and like sort of a creative mindset is like the best thing to go down, especially when you're locked in the house. Like anything, sort of like, say if you do like music, sing, rap, do you know what I mean? Maybe you're a producer, make beats. Maybe you're an artist, draw. Do you know what I mean? Just do anything to sort of take your mind away for a minute, because like that's what it is with me. Like music's the only, because at the minute I'm fighting a lot of demons and stuff. But music for me is the one place where for that time I'm empty. Do you know what I mean? Not empty, but I mean like everything's forgotten.
Yeah.
So music for me is like definitely a big escape. So I just say do whatever makes you happy, and just like respect. Like even with like working out and stuff, like now is a good time to like get into fitness and stuff, because that helps like take your mind off things. And like I just bought a few things. I'm looking to get some weights and stuff, just because obviously now that I can't go to gym, exercising is a big thing for me. So I just say just do what you can to sort of keep your mind off the real world, because I personally I don't even listen to the news. Like I only know about lockdowns and stuff because my mum will tell me whenever out bigs happened.
Yeah. That's the best way to be, though.
Yeah.
I just don't follow the news. I may be more uneducated than other people because they know all about the news and they know what's going on. But I just prefer to sort of stay in my bubble and stuff, and just, you know what I mean? If I need to know it, I'll know it. If I don't, then push it to the side, sort of thing.
We've got one. So we're going to be recording our weekly podcast tomorrow. But that's going to go up before this interview. This interview is going to go up next week. But we're going to have one big wrestling sort of discussion on it. So we have a wrestling question for you. But before we get to that, is there anything else music-wise that you want to touch on that we haven't asked you? Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think now.
It's quite difficult to like put you on the spot like that. But if there's anything like about your career or whatever,
things on the spot, I feel like we covered quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? We went quite in depth with sort of my career and just where I am at the minute and why I do what I do. I don't know. I just sort of say, if you're watching this, check me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
Slide into those Insta DMs. That's what you need to do.
You got to stick it in. You got to stick it in. Yeah. But no, I feel like we've covered everything personally.
Okay, so back when you were watching wrestling, what was Triple H up to at the time?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was. I can't remember. I think it was DX and that back then, when they were always like, it was sort of like they were always going for like a tag team champions at that point. And then they sort of like distanced off, and then they were like all going for like big titles, like WWE and that. But I don't know. I feel like for me, I remember them most as DX. Like That's another thing. Like if I have to go through like my favorite duo of all time, it'd be DX. Just especially like when they used to have that sort of war, the time when they were sort of warring with Vince McMahon and with the Spirit Squad. Like those matches against the Spirit Squad, they just used to have me in bits. So like that's definitely like as like Triple H and stuff. That's what I remember him for.
There was an article posted the other day. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that Triple H deserves, when his time comes, he deserves a retirement match, like a big farewell match. This is going to be our discussion tomorrow, but who do you think it should be against? Is there any names that like you think that's who I'd like to see him against in his goodbye match?
People that are still in, or sort of like anyone, or
preferably something realistic. So you could say like a Shawn Michaels because he could come out, but it's unlikely that he would.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's a difficult question.
Is a good shout.
Hornswoggle would be a stick match. No, I don't know. I'd probably say Randy Orton, me, because obviously they have had a lot of stuff in past. Obviously, especially with that stuff where with his wife and that, you know, that match where he sort of handcuffed him to the ring and kissed her, stuff like that. They've had like a lot of like rivalries and stuff. So I feel like, and because Randy Orton's still one of the biggest names in the industry because he's one of the only ones that are still going.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he's slowly getting to the point where he'll retire soon, I think, as well. Like, because he's not that old, but he's been in it for that long. I just feel like soon, like he'll just be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Time for retirement. It's not like he's not got enough money for it, but I definitely think like Triple H and Randy Orton would be a big match for him to like retire on. Speaking on people that are still in though, but same with like Drew McIntyre, it'd be a good fight, but I just feel like it's just them two fighting is just a bit unrelevant. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not really relevant.
I think that it's safe to say that the outcome of our discussion tomorrow, the answer will be Randy Orton, because obviously you got the Evolution stuff as well when they were in with Ric Flair and Batista. Yeah. I feel like Randy Orton's the only one that's still going full time that would make sense and give it a big, meaningful match, like you said. Yeah. Like you could do it against Drew McIntyre, big guys, you know, big farewell match, but it doesn't mean anything. Like big Randy Orton.
With Randy Orton as well, he's had like rivalries with pretty much every superstar. You know what I mean? Like when Edge come back, it was like their big rivalry for a few matches. Do you know what I mean? It's like Randy Orton is just one of them names that he's still in the industry and he still gives a good match, and he's like because he's a good actor as well, so he plays the part very well of like. Because for pretty much his entire stay at WWE, he's been the heel. Do you know what I mean? He's always sort of the bad guy. So I just think it works well because he just causes havoc, and it makes for a fun match as well. And RKO is one of my favorite moves. So I mean, I always love to see it.
Yeah. I think everybody loves the RKO, don't they?
It was that, and the 619. The 619 had me mesmerized when he used to do that. So that's definitely a big move for me.
Ryan, do you have anything else to add?
I think we've touched all bases, to be fair. I think we covered pretty much quite a lot, to be honest.
I'd agree. I can't
think of anything.
Else to say.
So I'll put in the description of the YouTube, the SoundCloud, the iTunes. In the description of all that, I'll put the links to all of your stuff. If you just send them over to Ryan or me or whatever, I'll stick them all in the description so everyone can check them out. Instagram, what did you say it was again? Just so give a quick shout out.
I'll send you my link to my Instagram, but it's Spanham, my name. So it's like SPANN for Norman, AM for mother, but it's 3 M's. But I'll send you a link, and you know what I mean, so you can put it in the description, make it easier. But I'll also I'll drop when this drops, I'll drop it on my socials and stuff.
Appreciate that.
Try to get a wider audience on it.
Sweet, appreciate that. So this will be going up on. Bear with me while I quickly. It'll be going up next Tuesday. Does anyone know what the date of that is? Because I can't grab that up right now. Tuesday the 12th. That's the one. So it'll be going up Tuesday the 12th of January. If you want to find out more about Jack, check the description. As for now, I guess that's goodbye. So thank you, Jack, for joining us. I've really enjoyed this chat because obviously me and you didn't know anything about each other before.
Yeah.
I'd only heard your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the first person in this new series, so it's very exciting to have you
Yeah,
on. And
made history.
Start off strong.
yes, that's how it is. But yeah, we're gonna be
100%.
doing this once a month. Hopefully, if you know anybody that wants to come on, talk wrestling, talk about their career, or if you want to come on yourself, listeners, get in touch and we'll see what we can do. But as for now, thank you for joining
I
us.
also, just before we go, I just want to add, because obviously after seeing, like, I took big inspiration off Ryan, seeing him doing this podcast and everything, and I've been trying to look for people to do a podcast with. So, and I have recently actually found, I'm doing it with my friend Macaulay and another one of my mates. So that will be coming over the next coming weeks.
Oh, nice,
So
man.
I want to thank Ryan for that, because he gave me the inspiration to start my own podcast.
There you
No
go,
worries,
Ryan.
man. I can't wait.
Anybody that sort of watches this and checks out my socials, just keep your eye out for that, because it should be fun.
Nice.
Hey,
Something to
nice
look
one.
forward to.
Nice one, fella.
But again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.